Hey there, how you doing? Bobby Durkins here. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you checking this out. Breaking news coming out of, well, actually Dallas, down there where Clemson is practicing. They're already down there for the Cotton Bowl. Unfortunately, Dexter Lawrence will not be playing in the Cotton Bowl. The road just got a touch easier for Notre Dame after he and two other players failed their drug test. Supposedly it was just, as I'm reading this online, a sliver of Ostarine. I guess that's how you pronounce that. I don't care. But anyway, that word, I don't know if I'm pronouncing correctly, is what's going to keep Dexter Lawrence, a first-round pick, from playing against Notre Dame. I guess the luck of the Irish just kicked in some. But they adamantly say they had no clue whatever they were taking or using or whatever had this in it, which it is a banned substance. Anyway, big news. Dabo Swinney said, look, they're not playing. The three of them are not playing. And it's a big blow for us. Fortunately, we do have Albert Huggins, but, I mean, you don't replace Dexter Lawrence, okay? You don't replace him. He's one of those guys who is irreplaceable. Even though we have Trevor Lawrence, and Trevor Lawrence, our quarterback, is incredible, you don't replace Deshaun Watson. You can get players in there who is great in their own right. You do not replace them. So, in this case, Albert Huggins, probably a few other players, they're going to do quite, they're going to work hard. They have a lot of game experience. That's what happens when Clemson gets to run so many players in so many games. It gives you a chance to, whether you're missing a player, by injury, or unfortunately in a matter like this, to where you're not, just out in the cold. But, as I said, you do not replace Lawrence. So, once again, Dexter Lawrence will not be playing in the Cotton Bowl. The other players, one guy, I don't really know him. Zach, he's an offensive lineman, Zach Guilla, I don't know. And then tight end Braden Galloway, he played for Seneca High School. Good athlete. He's a true freshman, big kid too. Or the 30 players he will not be playing. And I want to say this. This is so interesting I'm talking about this. I was on Pigskin Pete's show. If you don't know Pigskin Pete, go check him out, subscribe to him. By the way, if you don't know me, now you do. Hit the subscribe button. You'll either love me or you'll hate me. You can figure that out real quick. But we were talking about an interview I just had a couple of days ago with Pigskin Pete that Dabo Swinney runs a clean program. People absolutely hate that he is so clean. They're just, I'm not saying he's perfect. He's not perfect. But that he runs a clean program and that he's a likable person. I know people who's like, I just don't like him. Why? Because he's not a slimeball like your team? Or because he's winning, yet he can do it clean? Because, you always get those people who believe that the only way you win is if you do something crooked. That's always the creed of a loser. It just means when you do stuff the right way, it's more difficult, but you can succeed. You don't have to go get hookers for players like a bunch of these schools do. You don't have to, cover up domestic assault. You don't have to cover up crap like rape. You don't have to do, you don't have to. It might protect your best players if you do, but you don't have to do that to be successful. Once again, Dabo Swinney, showing why he's a class act. I recently heard somebody take a shot at, I say recently, over the past year, took a shot at Dabo. And one of the players had signed with Clemson. They had never played a down. They had just enrolled early, and he was like, hey, I want to transfer. Well, it didn't make any sense. Everybody's sitting there scratching their head. It didn't make sense where they wanted to go to school. But, hey, that's their decision. We're not going to tear them down for that. But somebody said, oh, if Swinney's half the guy he claims he is, he'll let him go, but we'll see. And Swinney let him go without a question. He played for that kid played for the other team this year. I mean, the NCAA let it happen. I mean, he was in Clemson in the spring classes and playing for another school against Clemson in November. What does that say? Dabo Swinney is serious about doing things the right way, probably a little too fair at times. But this is just, even though this is bad news, this is good news for Clemson. Swinney is dedicated to doing things the right way. And I love that. So, good for Swinney. Bad for these players. They claim they had no clue. We'll see. We'll see. And I'm not going to pop them in the head over it. But at the same time, we've heard people claim, oh, we didn't know. We swear on a stack of written Bibles. And their hands start burning because they're lying. So I don't know. I don't know, seriously. We'll let their process. But good thing is we have a coach who wants to do things the right way. And not only wants to, he actually does. So anyway, if you're watching this, Merry Christmas Eve to you. If you're watching this today, that's when I'm putting this up. As I said, if you don't know me, go ahead and subscribe. You do know me. Remember, I'm Bobby Darkins. You keep showing up, I'll keep showing out. Bobby Darkins.